Imagine a world untouched by human hands. It is a world greener than we can possibly comprehend. This is the Earth during the late Cretaceous period, a vibrant and dynamic planet teeming with life. Vast forests stretch from one horizon to the other, a tapestry of greens woven with ancient trees like cycads, ferns, and the newly evolved flowering plants. The air is thick and humid, filled with the buzzing of insects and the calls of unseen creatures. There are no cities, no roads, no signs of our own existence. There is only the raw, untamed power of nature shaping the land in its own magnificent image, a world both beautiful and profoundly alien to us. The landscapes of this ancient Earth are in constant motion, a slow but powerful dance of creation and destruction. Mighty rivers, far wider than any we know today, carve their way through the continents, their muddy waters carrying life-giving sediment to sprawling floodplains. Along the coastlines, brilliant turquoise oceans wash against pristine shores. These seas are shallower and warmer than our own, a perfect cradle for an astonishing variety of life beneath the waves. And on the horizon, the ever-present threat of volcanoes looms. Their plumes of smoke and ash paint the sky, reminding all life of the planet's fiery heart, a force that can both create new land and bring devastation in a single explosive breath. This world is not silent. It echoes with the sounds of life in its most spectacular forms. The rustle in the undergrowth is not a fox or a deer, but something much, much larger. The shadow that passes overhead belongs not to an eagle, but to a creature with a wingspan as wide as a small aeroplane. This is a planet ruled by giants, a kingdom of reptiles that have dominated the land, sea, and sky for millions of years. Every corner of this world, from the deepest jungle to the sunlit plains, is part of their dominion. It is a world that functions on a scale of size and power that almost defies our modern imagination. Life here is a constant unfolding drama. Survival is a daily challenge, a test of strength, wit, and adaptation. The air itself feels different, richer in oxygen, fueling the incredible size and energy of its inhabitants. The days are marked by the rising and setting of the sun, and the nights are filled with a chorus of sounds that no human has ever heard. This is a complete world, a fully realized ecosystem that has achieved a state of complex balance over millions of years. It is a planet in its prime, unaware of the profound and sudden change that is hurtling towards it from the silent, cold darkness of space. The true masters of this Cretaceous world are, of course, the dinosaurs. They are everywhere, in an astonishing variety of shapes and sizes. On the open plains, great herds of Triceratops move like living fortresses. Each individual is armed with 3 formidable horns and a solid shield of bone protecting its neck, a powerful defense against any predator. They are the great grazers of this era, peacefully munching on low-lying ferns and cycads. Alongside them, vast families of duck-billed hadrosaurs communicate with one another using complex calls, their crests acting as resonating chambers. These gentle giants are the lifeblood of the plains, constantly on the move in search of fresh vegetation. But for every plant eater, there is a hunter, and the ultimate hunter of this age is the Tyrannosaurus rex. This magnificent carnivore is the undisputed king, standing over 12 meters long, with a massive skull filled with teeth like railway spikes. It is a creature built for power. T-Rex is not just a scavenger, it is an active predator, using its keen senses of sight and smell to track the great herbivores. Its presence casts a long shadow over the land, a constant reminder that in this world, life and death are locked in an eternal dance. Even the heavily armored Ankylosaurus, a living tank covered in bony plates and wielding a club-like tail, must be wary when the tyrant king is near. The skies, too, belong to extraordinary creatures. The pterosaurs, flying reptiles that have ruled the air for millions of years, reach their zenith. Giant forms like Quetzalcoatlus, with a wingspan of over 10 meters, soar effortlessly on the thermal currents. They are masters of the air, gliding over vast distances to hunt for fish in the inland seas or to scavenge on the carcasses of dinosaurs below. And down in the dense undergrowth, smaller, more curious forms of life exist. Tiny compsognaths, no bigger than a chicken, dart through the ferns, hunting for lizards and insects. And in the trees, the feathered microraptor glides from branch to branch, a hint of the birds that are to come. Life also thrives in the warm Cretaceous oceans. These are not the peaceful waters we might imagine. They are home to their own set of giants, the great marine reptiles. The mosasaur, a colossal sea lizard over 15 meters long, is the apex predator of the oceans, a reptilian equivalent of a great white shark or an orca. With powerful flippers and a tail built for speed, it hunts ammonites, large fish, and even other marine reptiles. The seas are filled with these incredible swimming monsters, and the swirling shells of countless ammonites, creating a rich and dangerous underwater kingdom that rivals the world of the dinosaurs on the land above. For all its dangers and its colossal inhabitants, the Cretaceous world exists in a state of remarkable balance. It is a complex web of life where every creature, great and small, has a role to play. The enormous herds of herbivores, like the hadrosaurs and Triceratops, are the great shapers of the landscape. Their constant grazing prevents the forest from becoming too dense, creating open woodlands and plains where other types of plants and smaller animals can thrive. Their immense numbers provide a sustainable source of food for the predators, ensuring that the hunters too can survive without completely wiping out their prey. This is nature's grand design in action. The carnivores, from the mighty Tyrannosaurus rex down to the small, nimble raptors, are not agents of chaos. They are essential regulators. By preying on the old, the weak, and the sick, they keep the herbivore herds healthy and strong. This prevents overpopulation and the subsequent stripping of all vegetation, which would lead to mass starvation and the collapse of the entire ecosystem. The T-Rex, in its role as the ultimate predator, is a keystone species. Its presence creates a ripple effect of stability throughout the food chain, maintaining the health of the very world it seems to terrorize. It is a powerful, life-giving force, as much as it is a bringer of death. This delicate equilibrium extends to every corner of the planet. In the oceans, the giant mosasaurs control the populations of large fish, allowing smaller marine life to flourish. In the skies, the pterosaurs clean the land of carcasses, preventing the spread of disease. Even the smallest creatures have a vital purpose. Insects pollinate the newly evolved flowering plants, adding color and diversity to the world, while also serving as a crucial food source for smaller dinosaurs, lizards, and early mammals. Every single thread is connected. The fall of one species could unravel the entire tapestry, a system perfected over tens of millions of years of evolution. This is a world that is self-sustaining, a closed loop of energy and life. The nutrients from fallen trees and deceased dinosaurs are returned to the soil, feeding the plants that will, in turn, feed the next generation of giants. The rivers carry these nutrients to the sea, fueling blooms of plankton that support the entire marine food web. It is a powerful cyclical rhythm. The planet breathes, lives, and thrives in a state of natural perfection. It is a world that seems eternal, as if it could go on forever. But this perfect balance is entirely dependent on the stability of the planet itself, a stability that is about to be shattered by a visitor from beyond this world. Far beyond the blue skies and white clouds of the Cretaceous Earth, in the cold and silent expanse of deep space, a journey is underway. It began long ago, perhaps knocked from its ancient orbit by a gravitational nudge in the distant asteroid belt that lies between Mars and Jupiter. It is a colossal piece of rock and metal, a mountain 10 kilometers wide, tumbling silently through the void. For millions of years it has traveled on a lonely path, an unnoticed wanderer in the vastness of the solar system. It is a relic from the formation of the planets, a messenger from a time before life on Earth even began. As its journey continues, the asteroid's trajectory slowly, inevitably, begins to intersect with the orbit of our world. From the surface of the Earth, nothing has changed. The dinosaurs continue their daily lives, the pterosaurs soar in the warm air, and the oceans teem with activity. They are all completely unaware of the cosmic threat that is now accelerating towards them. In space, the asteroid drifts past Mars, its path now firmly set. It is a silent, dark object, reflecting only the faint, distant light of the sun as it begins the final leg of its fateful voyage, drawn onward by the relentless pull of Earth's gravity. The closer it gets, the faster it moves. It is now entering the Earth-Moon system, a silent intruder in our celestial neighborhood. If there were astronomers to see it, they would watch it grow from a tiny, moving point of light into a terrifying, distinct object in the night sky. But there are no telescopes, no one to sound the alarm. The planet below sleeps, bathed in the soft light of the moon. The asteroid is now a streak of light, visible even during the day. It begins to feel the first tendrils of Earth's atmosphere, the thin outer layers of air that will soon become a fiery barrier. The final moments of its journey are terrifyingly swift. As it plunges into the upper atmosphere, the immense friction transforms it into a colossal fireball. It glows with an impossible heat, brighter than 1,000 suns, a new and terrible star in the sky. The air in front of it is compressed into a plasma hotter than the surface of the sun itself. For the creatures below, it would have appeared as if the heavens themselves were tearing apart, as if the sun was falling from the sky. This silent messenger from space has become a roaring harbinger of doom, aimed with perfect, terrible precision at a shallow sea where the Yucatan Peninsula in modern-day Mexico now lies. The impact is an event beyond all comprehension. In a fraction of a second, the 10-kilometer-wide asteroid slams into the Earth, traveling at over 20 times the speed of a rifle bullet. It strikes the shallow coastal waters of the Gulf of Mexico with the force of 100 million nuclear bombs. The initial flash of light is so bright it would have incinerated any living thing that saw it for hundreds of kilometers around. The asteroid and the crust of the Earth it strikes are vaporized instantly, creating a crater over 180 kilometers wide and 20 kilometers deep. A wave of unimaginable energy and heat expands outwards in a perfect circle. The immediate aftermath is apocalyptic. A colossal tsunami, kilometers high, races outwards from the impact site, traveling across the oceans at the speed of a jet aircraft. It scours coastlines thousands of kilometers away, wiping out everything in its path. Simultaneously, a searing heat pulse radiates from the impact, a wave of thermal energy that sets fire to forests across the globe. For any dinosaurs unfortunate enough to be in the line of sight of the impact, even halfway around the world, the sky would have suddenly become a broiler, cooking them alive. The very air catches fire, and a global firestorm begins to rage. But the worst is yet to come. The colossal impact throws trillions of tons of pulverized rock, dust, and soot high above the atmosphere. This dense cloud of debris spreads rapidly, carried by high-altitude winds, until it shrouds the entire planet in a blanket of darkness. The sun is blotted out, day turns into a perpetual twilight, and then into a deep, unending night that will last for months, perhaps even years. Without sunlight, photosynthesis stops. Plants wither and die on a global scale. The foundation of almost every food chain on the planet, on land and in the sea, simply vanishes. For the surviving dinosaurs, this is the beginning of the end. The herbivores, who had survived the initial blast and firestorms, now face starvation in a dark, cold world. With the plants gone, they quickly perish, and without the herbivores to hunt, the mighty carnivores, including the great Tyrannosaurus rex, are doomed to follow. The world grows cold, a nuclear winter caused not by war, but by a rock from space. The age of giants, an era that had lasted for over 150 million years, is brought to a sudden, catastrophic close in the freezing darkness. The darkness eventually begins to lift. Over months and years, the dust and soot slowly settle out of the atmosphere, and a weak, pale sunlight returns to the surface of a changed world. The scene is one of utter devastation. The great forests are gone, replaced by fields of decaying ferns. The oceans are acidic and empty of their former giants. An estimated 75% of all species on Earth have been wiped out. The reign of the dinosaurs is definitively over. Their ghosts haunt a silent and empty landscape, their bones destined to become the fossils that would one day fire our own imaginations. This was one of the greatest extinction events in our planet's history. Yet, life is resilient. In the shadow of this global catastrophe, new opportunities arise for the survivors. Not everything perished. Small creatures, those that could burrow underground to escape the heat and cold, or those that could survive on the detritus of a dead world, clung to existence. Among them were our own distant ancestors, small, shrew-like mammals. For millions of years they had lived in the shadow of the dinosaurs, scurrying in the undergrowth, active only at night. With the giants gone, the world was now open to them. They were no longer prey, they were inheritors. This single, catastrophic event reset the course of evolution on our planet. The disappearance of the dinosaurs created a power vacuum, an ecological space that was waiting to be filled. The surviving mammals, along with the birds, themselves the direct descendants of small feathered dinosaurs, began to diversify and spread across the globe. They evolved, grew larger, and adapted to the new environments. The age of reptiles gave way to the age of mammals. Without the asteroid, without this moment of cosmic destruction, it is almost certain that we, human beings, would never have had the chance to exist. And so we look back on the world of the Cretaceous with a sense of awe and wonder. It was a spectacular chapter in the story of life, a time when giants walked the earth under alien skies. Its violent end serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of life and the immense forces that shape our planet's destiny. The fall of the dinosaurs was not just an ending, it was a necessary beginning. It cleared the stage for the next act in Earth's grand play, an act that would, after another 66 million years of slow, patient evolution, eventually lead to us. The legacy of the dinosaurs is written not just in stone, but in our own existence.